I had your job. I was good at it.
It was simpler then.
Welcome to Watch Mojo, and today we're counting down our picks for the top 20 sci-fi movies that will become classics.
I'm trying to save you. We're getting slaughtered. You need to get us off this beach.
For this list, we're looking at science fiction movies released in the 21st century that are bound to have a lasting legacy. We won't be including superhero films or animation since those deserve their own lists. What do you make of these movies and their messages? Let us know in the comments below. Number 20, Minority Report.
The precongs see the future and they're never wrong.
But it's not the future if you stop it. Isn't that a fundamental paradox?
Steven Spielberg has such an incredible filmography that even a movie as good as this one might get overlooked. Tom Cruise stars as John Anderton, a police officer who is accused of committing a crime before it even occurred. The original story that inspired the film was developed by renowned sci-fi author Philip K. Dick. Spielberg works his usual filmmaking magic by complementing it with some spectacular visuals and immersive world-building. The plot also raises some tantalizing philosophical questions in the vein of George Orwell, like concepts of individual freedom and authoritative overreach. And capping it all is an exceptional performance from Cruise. Minority Report truly has all the excitement, intrigue, and provocative ideas that come with the best sci-fi.
Careful, Chief. You dig up the past, all you get is dirty.
Number 19, Snowpiercer.
Hey, listen. I think I need that protein block. How about I trade you this one for that one?
No?
Directed by Bong Joon-ho, this film has a lot in common with his later masterpiece Parasite, including a strong emphasis on class inequality. The titular Snowpiercer is a train that circles the frozen Earth after a failed attempt at climate engineering. The wealth and power disparities on board eventually lead to a violent rebellion. The unique story captivated many, as did its smart social commentary. Pong's direction is masterful, as he crafts an absorbing world and fills it with memorable characters and exciting action. In the future, Snowpiercer will undoubtedly be considered a classic. Let's just hope we're not all watching it on a train.
Order is the barrier that holds back the frozen death. We must, all of us, on this train of life, remain in our allotted station.
Number 18, Annihilation. Sci-fi and horror often go hand in hand, but that doesn't mean they always pair well together.
What is it?
I don't know.
In the case of this Alex Garland-directed tale featuring a perplexing realm filled with animal and plant mutations and the scientists who enter it, those genres most certainly do. Not only that, but you might also call Annihilation a smart adventure thriller, what with its stirring themes and puzzling mysteries.
They've grown this way.
It doesn't make any sense.
One critic even called it, quote, too intellectual, but we think that should be taken as a compliment. With shimmering visuals and masterful direction, Annihilation has all the qualities of a sci-fi flick that will go down in history. It's ambitious, it is strange, and it's engrossing.
3, 2.
Number 17, Blade Runner 2049.
Mr. Morton, if taking you in is an option, I would much prefer that to the alternative.
This follow-up to Ridley Scott's iconic 1982 film didn't perform as well at the box office as the creators had hoped. That's a shame because seeing it in a theater was an unforgettable experience. Cinematographer Roger Deakins works his usual magic, establishing awe-inspiring shots and imbuing the movie with vibrant colors that really pop off the screen. It's no surprise that he took home the Oscar. The production and set design are also impeccable, presenting a grungy atmosphere that befits the movie's dystopian setting. Add a twisty story, engaging characters played by talented actors, and thought-provoking themes on humanity, and you have a sequel worthy of its predecessor.
Dying for the right cause is the most human thing we can do.
Number 16, Moon.
Gertie, have you heard anything new about anyone fixing lunar sat?
No, Sam. What I understand is it's fairly low on the company's priority list.
Many movies on this list, and many pieces of sci-fi for that matter, ask what it means to be human. That includes this one. Moon stars an excellent Sam Rockwell as Sam Bell, an astronaut alone on the moon mining helium-3. What follows is an exceptionally crafted tale with surprising twists and turns. Along the way, the film introduces many philosophical questions, including ethical dilemmas and explorations of the human condition. These themes are perfectly embodied by Rockwell, who gives a career-best performance by grappling with an existential crisis. Moon has already gained a cult following as more and more people discover this heady atmospheric film.
Who is he? Who is he?
We need to get him to the infirmary.
Number 15. Avatar.
If you wish to survive, you need to cultivate a strong mental attitude. You got to obey the rules. Pandora rules.
No one crafts visual spectacles like James Cameron, and this film is his opus. The technical merits of Avatar are beyond compare, and they helped establish Cameron as a truly visionary director. With state-of-the-art CGI and a stunning use of 3D that had a lasting impact on the industry, Avatar is an exercise in sci-fi world-building. There's a reason it became the highest-grossing movie ever. People loved what Cameron had created, and they wanted to visit again and again. Though its 2022 sequel achieved the rare feat of being almost as critically and financially successful, Avatar is sure to be remembered as a turning point in movie history.
The Tree of Souls. Ivitrai Ramunon. It's their most sacred place.
Number 14. Dune.
For the Fremen, spice is the sacred hallucinogen, which preserves life and brings enormous health benefits.
Frank Herbert's expansive novel is one of the most popular and acclaimed in all of sci-fi. Since David Lynch's 1984 adaptation was mostly a disappointment, fans have been waiting decades for a decent revival of the property. Enter Denis Villeneuve, who followed up Blade Runner 2049 with another modern masterpiece. Dune is a visual extravaganza, complete with stunning special effects and production design. The world building is immaculate, with Villeneuve faithfully adapting Herbert's epic scope and complex political intrigue. There's also its place in history to consider, as Dune helped convince audiences to return to the theater in 2021. This is one of those films you will want to see on the biggest screen possible.
Preparing the way, Paul. These people have waited for centuries for the Lisan al-Gaib. They see you. They see the signs.
Number 13. Interstellar.
This team never left the simulator. We need a pilot, and this is the mission that you were trained for.
Christopher Nolan sure is good at making movies. There are a ton of things to love about Interstellar, and some people even consider it the 2001 of our day. Which is fitting since Nolan himself cited Stanley Kubrick's landmark film as an influence. There's the ambitious storytelling, which contains complex scientific concepts like tesseracts, wormholes, and time dilation. There are the challenging themes that ask us difficult questions about the cosmos and our place within it. And yes, there are the breathtaking visuals accompanied by an outrageously good score, providing a rich cinematic experience. Just as we do with 2001. Future generations will look back on Interstellar as a meditative and visionary work.
If I can find a way to transmit the quantum data I'll find in there, they might still make it.
Let's just hope there's still someone there to save.
Number 12. Edge of Tomorrow.
I have spoken to your CO. You are now under my command. You will retain your present rank, of course. My secretary has all the details.
Doug Liman's Edge of Tomorrow takes on a well-worn premise. Time loops, and makes it fresh for modern audiences. Based on the Japanese light novel All You Need Is Kill, Edge of Tomorrow tells the story of a public relations officer played by Tom Cruise, who's forced to relive the same day over and over battling aliens. It's kind of like an action version of Groundhog Day, but with extraterrestrial invaders and the fate of the world at stake. Edge of Tomorrow brings humor, a badass Emily Blunt, and stunning visuals to this sure-to-be sci-fi classic.
Find me when you wake up. What? Come find me when you wake up.
Number 11. War for the Planet of the Apes.
I'm just gonna put this down.
The original Charlton Heston starring film is already a classic, spawning a slew of sequels and series. That said, although the visual effects were ahead of their time in the 1960s, now they seem outdated. and the famous twist has been recreated and parodied so often it's almost become cliché. The 2010s trilogy updated and expanded the story for modern audiences, concluding with War for the Planet of the Apes, an action spectacle with a healthy dose of emotion and intellect. The filmmaking is dazzling, with remarkable production design and magnificent visual effects. It also ends the overarching story of the reboot series in a satisfying way. Like the original, its effects may look dated one day, but its place in sci-fi history is secured.
My God. Look at your eyes. Almost human.
Number 10. Primer.
Okay.
To say that this film is challenging would be an understatement. Made by Shane Carruth, who was working almost entirely solo on a budget of $7,000, it follows two engineers who accidentally discover time travel while working on another project. The result is some of the most mind-warping sci-fi ever put to film. Not only is the plot intricately structured, but the dialogue is filled with dense technical jargon that, while realistic, can be hard to follow. But it also proves the value of indie filmmaking. You don't need flashy set pieces to be remembered, just a unique story, a tenacious creator, and true respect for the audience.
I'm not gonna pretend like I know anything, okay, about paradoxes, or what follows them. And honestly, I really don't believe in any of that crap anyways. I mean, kill your mom before you're born, whatever. It has to work itself out somehow.
Number 9. District 9.
Forget Area 51, it's District 9 that holds all the alien secrets. Redefining the classic alien invasion story, it's the humans that are the villains in this one.
We are yet to serve you an eviction notice. You just put your skull over there. Okay, all right, hold it.
After a spacecraft landed in Johannesburg back in the 80s, the South African government interned the refugee aliens and stole their technology. Decades later, a company agent, Vikas, accidentally exposes himself to a fluid that alters his human DNA and begins to transform him into an alien.
What is happening to Mom? Just breathe deep. What is happening to Mom, Doctor?
Watching his plight after he begins to see things from the alien's perspective couldn't be more captivating or emotional, while the movie itself is action-packed, entertaining, and thought-provoking.
If I can get you that black fluid, what happens then?
Number 8. The Martian. Though traveling to Mars is still in our future as of 2023, our children's children will probably look back on this movie with a wink and a smile.
F you, Mars.
Astronaut Mark Watney is thought dead after his team must hastily escape a storm on the Red Planet. Realizing they left him behind, his team turns back to rescue him. In addition to being highly entertaining and even humorous, the film is also a testament to human will.
They say that once you grow crops somewhere, you've officially colonized it. So, technically, I colonized Mars.
Watney must survive for years on his own, creating oxygen and growing food on a dead planet until his team can bring him home. Luckily for him, he's a botanist.
Mars will come to fear my botany powers.
Number 7. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once.
If nothing matters, then all the pain and guilt you feel for making nothing of your life goes away.
Even though it has produced countless classics, some people still consider science fiction a somewhat niche genre. But that definitely does not apply to Everything, Everywhere, All at Once. By some estimates, this is the most awarded movie of all time, winning hundreds of major industry honors, including the Oscar for Best Picture. It's clearly more than just a good genre film. Yes, it is wickedly entertaining, with a wild story, a dose of wacky humor, and some of the best cinematography of the century. But it's also a remarkably profound film, touching on generational trauma, existentialism, parallel universes, compassion, regret. Need we go on? It's right there in the title, Everything Everywhere, and it is mesmerizing to watch.
如果有来生，我还是会选择和你一起报税。
Number 6. Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Joel wants to forget Clementine ever existed, so he hires Lacuna Inc. to erase his memory of her.
This is a hoax, right? This is Clem. I assure you, no.
However, Joel realizes too late that he'd rather keep the painful memories as long as he can have the good ones too. Interestingly, Joel and Clementine's story is told inside Joel's mind, so we never get to see the truth, only the way Joel remembers it. Linking parallel storylines of the Lacuna workers and the nonlinear storytelling of Joel's vanishing memories, the film explores the subjectivity of memory and the way certain impulses still linger long after our memory fades. That, plus the bonus of Jim Carrey killing it in a dramatic role, secures this one's place in history.
I'm scared. Don't cry, baby Joel.
Number 5. Inception.
Forget future classic, try instant classic.
It's just a dream, then why are you...
This visually stunning Christopher Nolan film about planting ideas in people's minds through their dreams uses the ways that our dreams influence our real lives and the ways that our real lives influence our dreams as its landscape. As the dependency on visual effects in film will undoubtedly continue to grow, Inception will be remembered for its impressive use of practical effects in some of its most iconic scenes, such as the tilting bar and, of course, the hallway scene. Number 4. Her. Spike Jonze's vision of the future is feeling more and more relevant as the years go by. It tells the story of Theodore Twombly, played by Joaquin Phoenix, who falls in love with his virtual assistant Samantha, voiced by Scarlett Johansson.
What's wrong?
How can you tell something's wrong?
I don't know. I just can.
Though the narrative follows Theodore, he is not alone. He learns from Samantha that hundreds of others have fallen in love with their OSs. Even his neighbor Amy has befriended hers.
Are you falling in love with her?
Does that make me a freak?
No, I think anybody who falls in love is a freak.
Theodore's substitution of human interaction with that of an adaptive AI foreshadows our growing dependence on technology in real life. As our smartphones grow smarter, we grow more socially detached. And this movie brings up some very real and very relevant questions.
That's beautiful.
Thank you, Theodore. I'm kissing your head.
Number 3. Ex Machina.
Though there have been many modern sci-fi incarnations of the man creates monster, monster destroys man story, they usually culminate in a grand and violent revolt of man versus machine.
Haven't you met lots of new people before?
None like you.
But in Alex Garland's directorial debut Ex Machina, the struggle is far more subtle, at least at first. Eccentric entrepreneur Nathan Bateman flies in programmer Caleb Smith to test the intelligence of his humanoid robot Ava.
Do you have people who test you and might switch you off?
No, I don't.
Then why do I?
But Ava has her own agenda and an intelligence that surpasses her creator. With dazzling performances from Oscar Isaac, Alicia Vikander, and Domhnall Gleeson, it is a compelling watch that will stay with you long after the credits roll. Number 2. Children of Men.
In one of several hard sci-fi flicks on this list, the quite possible near future is a disaster.
You scared the shit out of me.
War has broken out across the world and governments have toppled. No babies have been born for 18 years, and the Earth's population is in serious danger. Upon discovering Key, a pregnant woman, Theo, a hardened former activist, is tasked with bringing her and her baby to safety.
We have to go now. Marianne, shut up! Trust me, we've got to go.
In a mesmerizing and unforgettable scene, Theo walks Key and her baby through a building under fire, and for a brief moment, the war stops so they can escape. Though set in the future, this film is very grounded in reality and foreshadows a scary yet hopeful fate.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Number 1. Arrival.
With Blade Runner 2049 director Denis Villeneuve at the helm, this movie could not go wrong. A contender for Best Adapted Screenplay, Best Picture, and Best Director at the Oscars, this film is not only spectacularly written, but also cinematically beautiful.
Dr. Banks, you can start.
As aliens come to Earth, linguist Louise Banks is tasked with discovering their intentions. If you were expecting your typical alien invasion action movie, you came to the wrong place. Arrival is a timely story of communication and understanding. Told through linear timelines as well as flashbacks or flash forwards, the film's use of time as a thematic element allows for one of the greatest twists in modern sci-fi history.
I can't do it with both hands.
Did you enjoy this video? Check out these other clips from WatchMojo, and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.